The man lives a normal life until the moment he is thrown into a pit where toxic water is poured in every minute. After work, Kawamura relaxes at a party with his colleagues. He tells Keese about his plans to marry his girlfriend. A friend gives him a small gift, and they part ways. On that day, Kawamura was so drunk that he didn't notice an open manhole, into which he later falls. He manages to survive, but he sustains a serious leg injury. Despite the pain, Kawamura wraps his leg and attempts to climb out, but some steps are broken. He tries to grab the upper railings with his belt, but fails and falls back down. Kawamura decides to see what Case gave him as a gift. Inside the gift is a lighter. Using the flame, he finds his phone and calls his girlfriend, but the voicemail answers. In frustration, Kawamura throws a stone and hits an iron pipe. He then calls all his friends, but they are also unreachable. Later, one of his ex-girlfriends answers his call, but there's another problem. Kawamura doesn't remember where he was drinking. However, he has a location marker on his phone, which he successfully sends to her. His acquaintance agrees to try to find him. Sometime later, heavy rain begins. The girl calls him and says she has arrived at the specified address, but there is no hole in the ground. She advises him to call the police instead. Kawamura uses the map on his phone to find the nearest police station and makes the call. Kawamura explains in detail to the officer what happened to him. The police ask him to describe the pit he is in, and Kawamura provides a detailed description of his location. The officer informs him that he likely fell into an abandoned manhole. The police ask him to wait for a patrol car that will arrive within 10 minutes. However, an hour passes, and the police still haven't come. Kawamura calls his ex-girlfriend again. She says she is still trying to find him, but no matter how hard she tries, she can't find any manholes. Kawamura begins to suspect that she wants to get back at him and isn't really trying to find him, just pretending. Kawamura asks his acquaintance to hurry up and tells her that it's very cold and raining where he is. The girl is surprised because there is no rain outside. She decides that he is just joking with her, so she hangs up and goes home. Kawamura gets an idea to turn on the camera recording on his phone and throw it out of the manhole. But instead, the phone gets stuck on the stairs. It turns out that the pipe in the manhole is damaged, and gas starts leaking out. As the gas becomes too much, Kawamura takes tape from his bag and seals the hole with it. Fortunately, the gas flow stops. Using a stone, Kawamura retrieves his phone from the stairs. When he tries to review the recording on it, the pipe cracks again. Kawamura has to tape the hole once more. Then his phone rings, and it's a police officer. The officer says they've searched the entire area but found no open manholes. Believing that Kawamura is too drunk to understand the situation, he realizes that no one will help him and tries once again to climb out of the pit. Unfortunately, this time the ladder breaks completely. Kawamura comes up with a new idea. He decides to create a fake social media profile for the girl and uploads AI-generated photos of her. Then, on his own profile, he posts that she is the one stuck in the pit, injured, and in need of help. He adds pictures of the pit itself. Shortly after, his ex-girlfriend calls him, expressing concern about his well-being. It turns out she works as a nurse, so she asks him to send her photos of the leg wound. The photo alarms the girl, and she advises him to stitch up the wound. With only a stapler at his disposal, Kawamura, despite the pain, manages to stitch up the wound with guidance from his ex-girlfriend. During this time, more than 1,000 people have subscribed to his social media profile. One of his followers gives him advice to find stars in the sky, but due to the heavy rain, he can't see anything. However, his compass is still functioning. He shares all of this with his followers. They ask when exactly the rain started, and he provides an approximate time. Meanwhile, people in the comments even start joking, pretending that aliens abducted him. Followers inquire if he has any enemies. Kawamura goes through everyone who could harm him in his mind and leaves their names in his blog. One follower with the username Prince of the Abyss vows to save the girl and become her hero. He promises to pay $100,000 to whoever finds him, urging people to intensify their search. Later, a colleague from the company writes to him on social media, and Kawamura confesses that it's a fake profile. His colleague reveals that Case orchestrated his fall into the pit. Kawamura asks why he thinks so. His work colleague responds that during a personal conversation, Case mentioned hating Kawamura and wanting to take everything he owns. Kawamura posts on social media blaming Case for everything. He calls his ex-girlfriend and tells her that Case abducted him. Kawamura also speculates that during their drinking session, Case might have spiked his drink. Eager to find out what happened at the party, Kawamura reviews the video from that night. In the recording, a suspicious figure dressed in red is seen in the far corner. It is this person's hand that handed him the beer. Later, Case calls him on his phone, having learned about the girl stuck in the manhole, whom he doesn't even know. Kawamura responds that she is the same girl from the manhole, and he is currently in the sewer. Kawamura admits knowing that Case hates him. Case swears he's not involved and hangs up. Sometime later, Kawamura hears the noise of a railway. Knowing this could be a great clue for his followers, he posts about it on his social media page. At that moment, the Prince of the Abyss uploads a video claiming he killed Case. Not all followers appreciate the prince's methods, and a dispute begins. By this time, the pit has filled with foam. Kawamura asks them to stop arguing and focus on finding him. Users suggest taking a photo of the manhole cover to help determine a more accurate search area. Followers find out it's an old, abandoned factory. One user claims to know where the girl is and will arrive in 5 minutes. Kawamura starts celebrating victory, but the foam continues to increase. The rescuer arrives at the specified address and starts a live stream. He finds a manhole, but it's not the one where Kawamura is. Out of desperation, Kawamura lights a lighter and ignites the foam. Miraculously, Kawamura is unharmed and a body falls out of the wall. Kawamura is terrified but quickly realizes where he is. He gives his address to his girlfriend and tells her to come help as soon as possible. It turns out that a long time ago, an unknown man killed the real Kawamura and dumped the body into this very manhole. After that, he asked the doctor to perform plastic surgery to make him look as much like Kawamura as possible. This way, he stole Kawamura's life and is not the person he presents himself to be. Now Kawamura knows who kidnapped him. It's the real Kawamura's ex-girlfriend, with whom he used to date, but had to part ways with later on. Since that day, she has always been pursuing him and seeking information about him. Kawamura creates an account for this girl and confesses everything. Afterward, he creates other fake accounts, encouraging the killing of this girl. Later, a police officer calls him on his phone. The man informs him that the police have arrived to help, and Kawamura pretends that he has already escaped and doesn't need assistance. However, the man insists that he needs to wait and answer a couple of questions about Case. Suddenly, someone starts walking above him. His ex-girlfriend calls him on his phone, stating that she has already arrived. She throws him a rope to help him get out. However, when he climbs up, Orihara appears in front of him, dressed in the same clothes as the person who gave him the beer. Kawamura doesn't understand why she's there. Orihara explains that she altered the data on his phone when he called Kudomai. Kawamura swears that he didn't kill the real Kawamura, but just used his appearance. Orihara asks a question about how he figured out where exactly he was. She attacks with a scalpel, but Kawamura manages to deflect it. He explains that his life has always been complicated, but soon he will have a child and wants to see it. The girl feels pity and decides not to kill him. As soon as she turns around, Kawamura starts strangling her. Throughout this time, the Prince of Darkness has been watching them, and he shoots Kawamura, thereby saving the girl. Kawamura tries to grab the phone, but the Prince of Darkness closes the manhole, concluding this story.